Hello, I'm KHU11 meteorologist Chris Ramirez. As we get closer to the warmer summer months, it's important to know that the National Weather Service has made changes on how heat alerts are relayed. So previously, we've seen excessive heat watch and excessive heat warning. They have, of course, changed it to extreme heat watch and extreme heat warning. This is all a part of their hazard simplification project that they've been doing. We saw this during the winter months, during the extreme cold watches and warnings that have been issued. So usually when an extreme heat watch is issued, that means that dangerous heat is possible. So you want to be prepared, maybe have plans to spend time indoors. When an extreme heat warning is issued, that means dangerous heat is imminent or happening. So you want to take action, sort of similar like we usually see during severe thunderstorm watch and severe thunderstorm warning, likely like the same thing with tornado watch, tornado warning. Sort of similar situation there, but here in Houston, there's different criteria between a heat advisory and an excessive heat watch and warning. So when a heat advisory is issued, it's when the air temperature is 103 degrees or hotter and the heat index is 108 degrees or hotter. We're going to get into heat index in a bit. Excessive heat warning is issued is when the air temperature is 105 degrees or hotter and the heat index is 113 degrees or hotter. And as far as heat index, if you spend any number of months in Houston for the past few summers, you know that the humidity is no joke. And so the humidity plays a role on the calculation when it comes to heat index. So heat index takes in the actual air temperature and the humidity, and then it gives you that value right there. It's actually a calculated equation, a pretty complicated equation in meteorology that we usually use. And so heat index can also be called the feels like temperatures when it comes to those hot conditions during the summer months. So when it comes to heat index, it definitely could have impacts to your body when we have high humidity and dangerously hot heat. So between 90 degrees and 103, when you are exposed to the heat index without taking time, frequent breaks, or staying hydrated, you can still get heat stroke, heat cramps, heat exhaustion, definitely possible. When the heat index is 103 degrees, bringing it to 124, you could get heat stroke, heat cramps, and heat exhaustion, definitely likely. So possible, likely, those are the differences there. And then 125 degrees or higher, when you're exposed to that without taking any measures, you can definitely get a heat stroke. So that's definitely a medical emergency. And it's also important to know that the heat danger is in knowing the symptoms between heat exhaustion and heat stroke. So if you're feeling faint or dizzy, if you have excessive sweating, if you're cool, pale, clammy skin, have a rapid weak pulse, muscle cramps, that is heat exhaustion. You want to get to a cool, air-conditioned place, drink water if you are conscious, and take a cool shower or use a cold compress to your skin to give some relief from that heat exhaustion. However, if you or you see anybody experiencing symptoms of a throbbing headache, no sweating, red, hot, dry skin, rapid, strong pulse, maybe if they would lose consciousness, that is a medical emergency. That is known as a heat stroke, and you have to call 911 or get that person to a hospital immediately. And so I know that we still have a few months before we deal with these summer-like conditions, but it's important to know ahead of time of what we're looking at when those summer months come in terms of the changes that have been made to the heat watches and heat warnings and the heat alerts that the National Weather Service has made changes to. And as always, we are continuing to bring the latest weather forecast and the latest weather updates on KHU.com and on the KHU 11 app.